Hello and welcome to the Philippines. I'm here at JRC Visa Consultancy and Immigration Services again today, and we're going to be covering a lot of information. It's November 1st, I think it is.
Second.
Second. Okay. I'm always a day behind, dollar short. But we're going to cover some issues about immigration, about tourist visas, a number of different how people can get into the Philippines, and just what's going on here in the Philippines. So you've got some thoughts on those issues, JR?
I have a lot, Rod.
Okay.
It's good to see you again. I'm very happy to see you in good shape. And hi to all the viewers. Hope that you're also doing good as of this time. And take good care of yourself. This is hopefully this pandemic will end soon. So yeah, being optimistic about it. So yeah, we should start. But I think most of the question right now revolves on, especially to your subscribers and to all the foreigners who are actually trying to go to the Philippines. When can I come to the Philippines? So that question will be answered shortly. But before anything else, I would like to share to you some press releases by the Bureau of Immigration, a little bit expounding on it so that your subscribers would also understand it deeply, not just by the word of paper, or actually comprehending it in terms of how you would like to comprehend about it. But let's start with a press release from the Bureau of Immigration, which was October 22, 2021. So that revolves, and the title of that, which BI warns overstaying aliens to regularize the stay or be deported. So this is a reminder which will somehow contradict to the press release, which is dated September 12, which is the temporary suspension of the order to leave. So for your subscribers to know, it's either, especially for those who are here in the Philippines and have gone to the 36 month mark, you need to know that that is not indefinite. You still have the obligation to go to the Bureau of Immigration offices near you, or they will be redirecting you to file it directly to the Intramuros office, which is the main office of the Bureau of Immigration, to file what needs to be filed, like a motion for reconsideration stating your stay, what are the grounds of your stay, what happened for the past 2 years approximately, or almost 2 years, and then you are required to pay the fees. So since the order to leave was suspended way back September 12, then they actually, like a month and a few days after, they actually reminded you that once you file your motion for reconsideration, you need to secure an appropriate visa, or you need to leave the country. So that should be clear, because I have heard a lot of misconception going on. Like when the press release was being circulated, I received so many calls. Like, I don't need your services. I just go to the Bureau of Immigration office, and then boom, it hit them. Because they need to have all the paperwork in place. Like if you have some medical issues, you need to write it down on the motion for reconsideration for the legal department, and the Board of Commissioners will see what really happened on your side. So they're doing that for humanitarian purposes, and they're also reminding you to regularize your stay. Sorry for that, I'm short with R. But basically they're trying to let you know that, hey, after that September 12, settle everything. If you have plans to stay in the country, like if you have children here, then explore appropriate visas for you, for you to have a regular stay in the country, a regular valid stay in the country. Yeah.
Okay. And part of this notification was it talked about an American in down by Davao, I think, who was actually put in jail. He's waiting for deportation proceedings now, because he did not make any attempt to regularize. Is that the deal?
Yes.
Yeah.
So hey, there are a lot of factors that we need to take a look at in this situation. If I actually have what do you call that? I felt bad for that particular person being subjected to this press release, but this is actually a message to every foreigner in the country. I have heard that there are some financial struggles for some foreigners, and don't wait for another year or another month to pile up for you to take action, because that could bring you more harm than being better. So if you have overstay and you have a problem, really, you can actually go, or you can actually communicate with the Bureau of Immigration Office, or you may actually email or contact your embassy and tell them, hey, I really need of help financially, and you can be tagged as an indigent foreigner, which through the help of your embassy will be given a due consideration for you to leave the country. But then again, the downside of it is you will be deported and you will be blacklisted, but that particular situation of yours will now be processed for lifting once you settle the penalties and the fines that you need to pay for the Bureau of Immigration. So if you're stuck here financially, you have your friends, they can help you. But if you want really to go back to your country, probably you have a chance there to redeem yourself, then apply for indigency. That is one of the options rather than you being here, because this is a foreign land for you. I don't know of how long have you been here. I have been hearing stories like they've been overstayed for 5 years, they've been overstayed for 8 years, and mind you, overstaying penalties are also a little bit substantial in amount. On the average of tourist visa, you will be paying around 18 to 20,000 pesos, depending on the peso to dollar exchange rate. But try to calculate it. If you have 8 years, that's a minimum 160,000, without still considering the penalties and fees and all other costs involved in it. So if you're really in trouble for that situation, especially for those subscribers of yours, or they may know someone who are in that position, Rod, probably your subscriber can, hey, this is not the end of the line. You can actually file for indigency, course through it better with your embassy, so that they'll be the one helping you reaching out to immigration, and they will actually file your paperwork from there so that you can go back to your country to redeem yourself.
Okay. But if they want to stay here, then if you apply for the motion for reconsideration, if you apply for that before your overstay, before your 36 months, it's much less expensive.
Yes.
And it's, what is it, 15,000?
A difference between 200 USD, roughly 10,000 pesos.
Okay.
Which is, we have already mentioned, I think, few videos back that we have done. If you file it before, then that would be 15,000 pesos for the arrears. That's what they call the penalties arrears. That's the term. And if you file it after, that would be 25,000 pesos. That's an arrears. That's a penalty. And there will be, on top with that, will be immigration will be also requiring you to pay to update your tourist visa from the time that it lapses and from the time that you're allowed to stay.
Okay. And you can, there again, I mentioned in one of my past videos that if properly filling out these forms with reasons why you've overstayed, or reasons why you couldn't travel out of the country, reasons why you're in this situation.
True.
Those reasons are very important, because you know, you deal with this every day. You know what they're accepting and what they're rejecting. You see the process.
Yes, that's true.
So if somebody wants some help, they can come to you. You've got offices here in Dumaguete.
And we also have an office already in Bohol.
In Bohol?
Yes,
oh, okay.
in Panglao. So that's also, if it will be more convenient for you to go there, then you can actually coordinate our office in Bohol.
Great. All right.
So yeah, expounding a little bit on that, Rod, it is very important. It is really important, because if you do it on your own, yes, you can do it on your own. Be my guest, it's okay. But mind you, there are things that you need to know before filing it. Because take a look at it, if you're the immigration officers in way back 2019, if my memory is correct, there are around 9 million foreign arrivals in the Philippines.
Yeah, correct.
and it goes down to 1.5 way back 2020 for the foreign arrival. So just imagine 10% of those are filing for motion for reconsideration. And it will be like being swamped by papers or being filed in the Bureau of Immigration main office. Take a look at that. Even if they have multiple immigration lawyers in the Bureau of Immigration office in Intramuros, then that's still a substantial number. Like 150,000 filings, that's a lot. And that's not easy. So you need to tell them, if you actually claim that you have this medical condition, it should be supported by a prescription, duly signed by the medical doctor, authorized one, and it should be supplemented also with a laboratory test.
Okay.
So those are things. If you are actually staying here, on top with that you are married, it should be attached with a PSA copy of a marriage certificate or any proof that you're married. If you have a daughter here or a Filipino child, it should be supported with a PSA copy of the birth certificate. I mean, just tell the story on paper. So,
and document.
Yeah, and document.
So you can, you sound legitimate. You're not just making things up and.
Yeah,
Right.
because there's a lot of gray areas in that. So that's why probably they would be assuming that, hey, once you take a look at your paper, at first page they would know if you're sincere or not, or just making up stories.
Yeah. If it's clean, it's documented. Yeah, right.
And also one good important reminder of the order to leave suspension that is applicable on May 1st, 2020 onwards. So if you have overstayed here before that date, then that's another story. The order to leave is still applicable.
Right. That's probably one of the comments I get the most. My boyfriend, my husband is going to overstay here in a few months, or has overstayed for many months. 18 months. What's it going to cost?
Sure.
And the best is to get professional advice. My opinion. So. Anyway, JR and his crew are here with the various offices if you need that help. Anyway.
And also there's no such thing as fixed cost.
No.
The one thing that might be fixed is the arrears. It's either 15 or 25. But the 6 months updating cost is way different from a year updating cost. So that is the one that they need to understand. So because sometimes there's a little is okay, if you cannot tell me that, then okay. They will have a probably different opinion on you, but hey, we just need to evaluate your situation. Each situation is unique. So we need to evaluate, we need to see some documents for us to guide you properly.
Okay. Yeah, and I know many expats who have used you. We get at least 99% favorable ratings. This is an unpaid commercial, but anyway, that's the fact. And I'm a person who likes to do things myself, but I've more and more I'm turning stuff over to JR, and it's just easier because us foreigners we can be kind of blunt. And
yes, indeed.
You don't want, and I've seen it happen. I've been at immigration, and I've seen foreigners from various countries get into arguments with the immigration guy there, and that's the last thing you want to do.
That's the not so good.
Yeah.
And also with that, Rod, to add, by simply there's what we call grounds for deportation or any complaints against a foreigner. By simple undesirable alien word is already a grounds for blacklisting and deportation. And also this is also a good, since you have mentioned that, I would like to expound that one a little bit better, a little bit deeper right now. That it does not mean that if a foreigner already has the visa, they already have the right to screw things up. No. That visa, it's either permanent or it's 13 series, 9 series, working visa, spousal visa, quota visa, retirement visa, that can be revoked anytime. That is not a right, but that is a privilege given to a foreigner who have abide the requirements to that visa. And that's a visa topic. and they should also be following also what are the rules and regulations, other rules and regulation outside the immigration or the visa status that they have. That is a very important reminder that I think most of your subscribers, I think, fully understand that. But if they need like a little bit of consultation of that, let us know and we will actually schedule you with one. Immigration officers at the airport has their prerogative. They are evaluating you as a foreigner coming here, and they are assessing you if you're gonna comply or not. Mind you, there are gray areas for that, but they have the right to let you in or to deny you. So yeah, I think we go back to the question again, that when is that when can a foreigner go to the Philippines? Because what they have actually taking a look at right now, the economy has been really affected, badly affected by this COVID situation, and they don't want to be in the point that it's very difficult to recover. So they're trying to manage right now, and I think it's been effective probably. One, which is the alert level 1, so there's low infection, low COVID cases, ICU utilization rate is low, as set by the health office. And also there's alert level 2, still low but increasing. Alert level 3, high, just high as they categorize, and alert level 4 are high and increasing. So those are the main, I'm just giving you a brief distinction of those so that your subscribers would know what are the things that they can expect. So there is still, for those foreigners who have been here already in the Philippines, they're trying to open the economy slowly. So there's inter-travel, domestic island-to-island travel has been already starting to open up. They're trying to maneuver what are the things that should be done, required or not. And those are the most of the content of that IATF Resolution 146-A and -B. So there's also what we call right now the color coding that you have, the green list, the yellow list, and the red list. So that's also being updated. So I think Latvia is the only country right now who is on the red list, meaning for those who are coming from those countries, they're not allowed to enter the Philippines. So mind you, before I will go further of this traffic light, probably color coding, it's the green, yellow, and red. So this is just a colored, the way I understand it is this is a health and quarantine classification. So it does not have anything to do with your visa. Vaccinated or unvaccinated, partially vaccinated, foreign individuals can still go to the Philippines. So this is a mere classification of how long will you do your quarantine? What are you required with a PCR test upon arrival, which actually you can dig deeper. So those are the main differences. Like if you're vaccinated and you came from the green list country, if you actually submitted a negative PCR test prior to your departure, 72 hours, then you are not required to do a quarantine. So you're not required to book a quarantine facility. That's based on the latest advisory by the IATF regulation or resolution. So once you're in the yellow list country, then they just stated there that they are requiring you to book a quarantine facility for 6 days. But mind you, the gray area there is the negative PCR test. So I would actually highly recommend to you that you take the negative PCR test once you come here, comply as is what is being required by the green list country, so that it will be it will make your travel a little bit easier rather than confusing. Because probably once you go there, you need to have a negative PCR test, plus you are partially vaccinated, unvaccinated, yellow list country, then comply with your 6 days quarantine. So I would actually let you understand that clearly, because I myself, I need to read the document probably thrice to fully understand and comprehend what is really the message for that. Mind you, those IATF members are also having time because it's changing from time to time, from hour on hour. So we cannot also blame them. Domestic travels or travelers going to Cebu are not required with any requirements except for the fully vaccination card.
You know, I mentioned this in a past video that I did, that I'm getting the feeling that things are opening up. I'm seeing things, I'm hearing things, and it's not like one big article that says, this is the plan, this is how we're going to open up. But I was at Metro at ILM Mall the other day, and they had a place for you to sign in.
Yes.
And they no longer have those sheets of paper for you to sign in. And they're not strictly adhering to the face shields like they did for a while. The jeepneys, for a while, for over a year, they had to have plastic between the passengers. And they said, no, you can take those down. But they're saying, well, there's no science to back it up. Next month?
You're trying to preempt to answer the question. But yeah, I totally agree with you. There's also another sign that we need to consider, that malls are already allowing children to go in. In which I don't know if you have noticed that, but I have personally experienced that one yesterday, because it's been almost 2 years that my son is stuck up at home, and he's very happy. And to all of my surprise, he says, hey, why are so many kids in the mall? Aside from being a holiday, but that's not the usual thing that you see for almost like a year and a half.
Yeah.
Because normally when you go inside the mall, it's just, oh my God, is it next to a ghost town?
Yeah, really.
So yeah, that's one of the reasons right now that we can actually take a look at that. But yeah, let me get this straight. Rod and I are not in the right position or authority to tell you when our things are opening, but we can actually give you facts. Probably the best case scenario, we can actually open early next year or before Christmas. Why? Here's the numbers. The Philippine government is trying to eye for a 70% full vaccination rate, which is 70% of the entire population. Where are we right now? Fully vaxxed, we're around, since I think it's as of Thursday and Friday last year, we are already at 27 million fully vaccinated individuals. And the challenge right now are still, people are still hesitant to get the vaccine. So that's the challenge. And there's an interview that I came across with a medical professional, and he said that day or the other day, a day before, they were able to do a 750,000 vaccine doses or administered on that day. So when you take a look at that on a 30 days calendar, that would be around 22 million vaccine doses that can be administered. So that would be around 27 million to 22 million. That's another month. So probably that would be on December. So that will give us 49 million. Then another 22 million, another 30 days, and that would be around 72 million. So approximately we're targeting to that, granting that best scenario of administering 750,000 doses a day will be at the same rate every day. So the variable of it can be shortened up. It will they can increase that doses every day that they administered. It can be longer if that doses will be lower in terms of that particular number that we're taking a look. It depends, but we cannot guarantee. But we're just giving you a numbers that would actually back up with our opinion, because probably it will be opening before Christmas Day, because there's a lot of people or foreigners who are actually with someone with a Filipina and wanting to come here. I think also the Board of Commissioners are also hearing that. I know. It is not just easy to implement one decision because it will be decided by a group. So it should be from the office of the immigration office. Before they can have that, it will be elevated to the IATF.
There is a major factor for everybody to consider. If they throw the switch today or December 1st and say, we're going to allow tourists in, we're going to go back to our system of visa on demand for most nations. You just fly here and you get your 30-day visa stamp. What's the limiting factor? Limiting factor is airlines.
True.
The airlines, Southwest Airlines, American Airlines, they canceled like 2,000 flights in the last couple of days, I think, in the USA alone because of staff shortages. 2 years ago, they basically shut down their whole operations. Over the number of months, they laid people off, people took early retirement. So now the airlines, they're short of people. They can't just, they don't throw a switch and okay, everybody's back in place. So they need to hire people. I've read that they're taking employees that don't have training in one area and they're moving them over to a different area. Maybe a ticketing agent to go do something else. Go fix this engine.
Yeah,
but
that's true.
That is limiting. Even if the Philippines or Thailand or whatever says, okay, we're open, come with your money. The airlines, it's going to be a trickle at first.
Sure.
For a number of reasons. Number one, the infrastructure isn't there. The airplanes aren't ready to fly.
True.
The airports aren't ready. The system here, the infrastructure here to handle all that. The immigration people, they're working on a lower number of people, I think, still.
Yeah.
So they need to bring those people back and make sure they're trained.
True.
And somebody made a comment the other day that they had read that immigration for the airports, they've hired a couple hundred more people. And that means they're actually looking ahead and starting to gear up to handle the tourist trade.
Don't quote it on us. That is just our opinion based on what we see, what we feel, and how we see. Take a look at the numbers. So probably it can still go up until the end of first quarter next year. Who knows? So as of now, the question again: when are we, for foreigners, hey, when are we are able to come to the Philippines? But before that, take a look at this. If your subscribers are actually Westerns, Americans, don't get frustrated if you're not on the green list. One of the reasons, those are not visa restrictions. Those are mere classification of your health and quarantine requirements. Because there probably people will be saying or interpreting it, hey, why is it the US is not on the green list?
Right, and Australia. Yeah.
Oh, and Australia and UK. Because I think UK was not on the green list.
No.
Why is it? These are the countries that actually wanting to retire and come to the Philippines. Don't worry. You can still come vaccinated or not vaccinated. You just need to comply with the health and quarantine requirements, in which that is the color coding represents. It does not have anything to do with your visa. It can go together, but those are different birds. Those are the things that we need to clarify, because sometimes of all the information being poured into you, you're gonna, hey, am I reading it the right way, or it should be read?
Right.
So yeah, okay, who can enter the Philippines right now? Three groups of people. Filipinos, Balikbayan. A foreigner can be granted with the Balikbayan under Republic Act 6768, in which the requirement should be that they're traveling with their Filipino spouse or their Filipino children. That's a requirement. And also one of the requirement is they should be under EO's, what do you call that? Let me check, because I need to verify that. EO 408. That's a list of country that are those who can just book a flight before COVID and come to the country and given 30 days.
Okay.
Those are the list of countries that are under the EO 408. Non-visa required foreign national, which is among those are US citizens, Australians, Japanese, UK, to name a few. If you are actually foreign national that are required for an entry visa, which is a tourist visa, the Balikbayan privilege will not be applicable for you. That's the second group. The third group is for those foreigners who have existing visa, and has entry visa. So existing visa is a visa that you currently hold into, not expired, like 13A, spousal visa. TRV, for a foreign national, a visa required foreign national married to a Filipino. That's TRV. Quota visa, retirement visa, special investors visa. Those are existing visas. You can go inside the country. Then it's either if you have green, yellow, except red, basically, because if you're coming from
Latvia.
Latvia, which is currently identified now as a red list country, unfortunately, if you have the existing visa, you are still not allowed to come inside the country. Entry visa. Entry visa are 9A visa, or what we call tourist visa, granting that you will have an EED, entry exemption document, in which your subscribers right now who are still outside the Philippines and wanting to come to the Philippines may secure an entry exemption visa by applying for the retirement visa right now. We have not talked about this. I hear that several times. There are a lot of foreigners calling me, JR, is it true that they can enter once they apply for the retirement visa? Okay, let me dig into it deeper. I waited for a success story, and when we coordinated with the retirement office, there's one. That involves 3 steps. 1, they need to apply for entry exemption document. Before they can file the entry exemption document, they should be already complying with all the retirement visa documentary and monetary requirements. Forward it to the retirement office, then forward it to the Department of Tourism, and then forward it to the Department of Foreign Affairs, or the Philippine Post, which is the Philippine Embassy. Right after that, once your AED will be approved, you need now to file your entry visa, which is the tourist visa, 9A, with special notation on presenting your entry exemption document by virtue of this foreign national applying for the retirement visa. Once you have that, book a flight, come to the Philippines. Step 3, final phase. Complete your retirement visa application.
Okay. And you have to complete it here.
Here.
You can help them start processing it in their country.
Yes.
But they need to come here to present their passport and...
Yes, that's true. So that's another way. Probably things are still uncertain in terms of when it's opening up, but there are 3 groups of people that can enter the Philippines. Not the soonest. I want you to understand that if you're gonna coordinate with us, or you're gonna get in touch with us, it's not just, hey JR, I wanted to process this, I'll book a flight tomorrow. No, it doesn't happen that here. So it will take, the reason why I actually broke it down by steps, because each step has their timelines, has the requirements, and you need to understand that. Probably based on the initial information that we have, in which we already have clients doing that, we're already submitting their AED application. According to the retirement office, or there's a source that we actually have 1 to 2 months for the AED, and another month for the entry visa on your selected, Philippine Embassy. It depends on how many, or where is that location of the Philippine Embassy that you located. It's either very far from you, or probably, for example, California or Washington, New York. Those are the heavily populated embassy, and they might have been assisting a lot of requests for the entry visa. So that will actually affect the timeline. But then again, once you have that, and if you're planning to come here to the Philippines, that could be one of your options. If it doesn't work out, and you're probably, after a 6-month stay here, upon arrival, you have your retirement visa, and you found your love of your life, you get married, cancel the visa, they will return the visa deposit to you, downgrade it from tourist, then apply for a spousal visa. Simple as that.
Okay.
It does not mean that your visa is stuck already in the Philippine Retirement Office. No. they are obliged to give that back to you. But then again, it's a process. It's not that, hey, cancel now and I have tomorrow. No. Definitely not.
Takes some time.
It takes some time.
Yeah. Now, can you process somebody's in a different country? Can you process the EEC,
The EED.
EED?
Yes.
Can you process that for them?
Yes, we can.
Can from here, okay.
Yeah.
But it requires
Documentary requirements?
some power of attorney?
No, not really, because we are an authorized service provider with the retirement office.
Okay.
Just like what we did with the Bureau of Immigration. We are duly accredited visa agency firm. So we're accredited to both retirement office and the Bureau of Immigration, and we are legal to transact with it.
Okay. So let's follow this a little bit further. What documents would they have to get to you in order for you to process that type of thing?
Basically, all the documentary requirements for the application, namely police clearance
From their country?
their country of origin. If they're applying with their spouse, they will also need to provide with a marriage certificate. If they're applying with the children below 21, we need their birth certificate. Those things should be apostilled, but that can be done later on. For the initial evaluation, you can actually forward us a scan copy. Medical certificate, we will provide you with all the necessary laboratory tests that needs to be done. Application form will be also guiding you. Basically, all the necessary requirements for the retirement visa. Also, the application fees that you need to settle for the visa application, and also for the how you remit your money for the visa deposit. Those are the things that we will be guiding you all throughout. Once you have all of that, scan it, email it to us, and we'll be actually processing it on the Philippine side for the EED.
Okay.
Once
So you don't need hard copies of that. You can just email that
Yes.
stuff. That makes it easy.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
after that, the EED will be processed. Then once the EED will be there, we'll be informing you, hey, these are the EED is already here. Please coordinate with the nearest Philippine embassy to you. Not just nearest, but selected, because we'll be making a letter to the retirement office of what Philippine embassy have you chosen.
Okay.
Selected, because that document, the EED document, will be forwarded to the selected Philippine embassy for the reference. So it's strictly they need to follow some rules.
Right.
Now, on the downside, there are people asking me, hey, Jer, I'm just gonna wait. What if in the middle of the processing or the process, everything opens up? Well, that's good. But the good side of it, you're already prepared. So when you come here, bring your physical documents, and boom, we jumped out to step number 3.
Oh, okay. There, I did some research before I came over here. There's, according to the internet, now we know all know, like,
Or according to Google.
we all know everything on the internet is true and honest. But it says the Philippines has 68 embassies in the world and 126 consulates. So about twice as many consulates, which are not full-fledged embassies. They do lesser things.
Yeah.
Generally.
I also received a call recent, I think that was last week, and he was a bit anxious, like he have actually sent an email to a Philippine embassy. He is on a 13A spousal visa. Married to a Filipina, but I think not yet applying for the spousal visa. And I told him, okay, here's the situation. Don't be a little too pushy on that. You need to also understand what have they gone through. Probably if that's one of the embassies in the US, they might be having an influx of application requests for that matter. And just, you can make a polite follow-up that, hey, I just wanted to make some follow-up on this. It's been running from this time on time, and I'm really looking to be in the Philippines for quite some time, because there's a lot of important things that I have to deal with, like for example with my properties there and my wife there. So just please feel free to reach them out. JR, what if everything opened up and we actually engage with your services now? Please feel free. At the end of the day, the first part of our evaluation process, in which we try to enhance it from time to time. If send us an email, we will be scheduling you for a 30-minute Zoom meeting. We will profile you, and the first question that you would hear from us is, what do you need? When, or questions, when do you plan to be in the Philippines? And then we will talk.
Okay.
And from there, after the consultation, it's either you move forward or you stay. That's it.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, it's your decision, and we're just here to give you the information. It's just like what Rod has been making an advocacy for that. The new normal also is we're also trying to give you out a dedicated contact numbers which will be provided with Rod and our customer helpline. You can we'll also be sending we'll also be indicating also our main office contact number, and so that you can call us directly from here. So Rod, thank you so much.
Thank you for taking the time to do the interview. So
for your subscribers, I hope to see you soon and grab a glass of whiskey in office to celebrate you coming here, you getting your visa, and if you just need some things here in the Philippines, let us know. We will also be, for those who will be looking for some information along the way, we're planning to have a Facebook group. If you have some questions, we can actually interact from there. So
Yeah.
we're making things really to give you the rightful information, along with the advocacy of Rod. And high salute for this guy. And take care, everyone. We'll see you on our next
okay,
video.
very good. Thank you.